Okay, this is the second video, obviously, because probably above it's going to say the second video. Anyways, so I got baptized on the 9th, and then I just completely made God the Lord of my life on the 19th, and then my birthday is on the 29th. Isn't that funny? So my birthday is in 2 days, and so that's going to be really exciting. I will say more about that after what I'm about to say, I guess, because that's the last thing on my list. Anyways, last week I gave my very, 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 very first sermon ever, which was kind of scary, and I wasn't really very confident, but I knew that God would speak through me, and so that was just my main prayers throughout the day. And a lot of people were praying that He would also speak through me. And it's really good that they were praying and that I was praying, because God did speak through me. And kind of during the sermon, I knew that God had it under control, and I didn't have to worry. So I was less afraid of what was going to happen and not nervous at all, which was great. Like, I'm always usually really nervous if I speak in front of crowds, but I wasn't nervous at all, so it's been getting better. So I really love how God actually using me for something, and it's great. Anyways, the sermon was about seeking truth, and that was kind of like the main point of my message, was seeking truth, and how do we know if the Bible is trustworthy. And so I gave them the methods that the people back then used to use for copying the pages of the Bible, and it used to be very, very strict, and just kind of made them understand that. And then I also showed them some charts about kind of like the reliability of the Bible and the accuracy and then the credibility, and it basically showed that the Bible is the most credible book, an accurate book that we have today, and it's more accurate than Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, all of their writings, which is really interesting because people believe their writings more than they do the Bible, which, yes, I see a problem there, and I would like to eventually address that to other people and kind of like speak to the people who doubt God, which would be amazing, because I used to be one of those people that doubted God, and so it would be really, really cool if God used me for that. And I kind of see Him leading me in that way, which is really, really good, and I feel like at peace with it. And anyways, the sermon also gave definitions to truth, and I also kind of like put some of my story into it, and just used it to encourage people to seek out truth and use the Bible rather than looking to other sources. But, if they're going to use the Bible, then first know that the Bible is true and don't just blindly follow. And I also related that to the Bereans in, I believe it's Acts 17:10-11. And the Bereans were seen as noble because they received the word with all eagerness, and they were willing to research and look at the evidence behind the word that they were receiving. And so it's actually good to go and research about God and the Bible and everything. And so it's not anything bad, which is good, because I love research. And then this weekend, my friend and one of our leaders for Thrive, her name is Paige, and she had a baby, which is funny because she had her baby shower on Saturday, and she was due in February, but she had her baby on Sunday, which was really, really cool. I'm like, early Thrive baby! It's awesome. And so I really can't wait to see that baby. It's going to be super, super cute. I already saw a picture and I was like, yes, it's a cute baby. It's awesome. And then on Sunday, I was planning for the girls' retreat. So the girls' retreat is for the Club 56 girls, and it's a relationships retreat, which isn't like relationships with boys, but it's going to be relationships with your family, your friends, yourself, and God. And we were planning that with all the other women, and we call them non-moms. So, yeah, non-mom. And we were giving tasks to people, and I was feeling called to do a message. So I am partnering up with another girl, and we're doing the message about the relationships with your friends, which should be really cool to see how other people do sermons too. So to work with somebody else, it's going to be awesome. And we had salad, which is awesome. I felt like a woman eating salad and cookies and Twizzlers. That's what we had. It was interesting and awesome. And then next week, I have an opportunity to give a sermon. So I'm giving a sermon about being kind to other people. And so that should be really awesome. I'm going to start writing it 2 days before. So I actually might do 3 days before. But that just allows me to rely on God more, because I asked my intern director, Scott, about how much time I should be spending on my sermon, because the last sermon I spent so much time working on. And he said, do it a little bit before your actual time that you give the sermon, because you're relying on God more than relying on your own knowledge. So that's good to know. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm really excited. And I took a spiritual gifts test, and I kind of took it again, because I took it in the beginning of the year. And in the beginning of the year, I got pastoring and exhortation and leadership. And then this time, I got faith. So faith was my strongest one. And then it was evangelism. And then it was exhortation, which I can definitely see exhortation, because I love encouraging people so much. It just makes me so encouraged when I encourage people. And it's just, I'm like, I want you guys to grow spiritually. And okay, anyways, it just makes me happy when I know that people are growing in the relationship with God. And so I just hope that I can continue that. And I really, everything's been pointing to use my spiritual gifts. And if I don't use my spiritual gifts, once I come to the end of my life, God's going to be like, well, what did you do with this spiritual gifts that I gave you? And I'd be like, well, God, I kind of didn't use them. I satisfied my own prideful desires. And that would be really sad. And I want to do stuff for God. So I'm glad that I'm getting opportunities to use spiritual gifts. And then I was also praying for confidence, because I didn't feel like I had enough confidence to go and give a message. And I was kind of doubting myself. But I actually had enough confidence for the last week's sermon, which was great. And he is giving me more opportunities to speak, which means that he's building my confidence, because you can build confidence through repeating the patterns that you're doing. So just practicing more and everything. And then, so he's been answering all my prayer requests, because they're relating to growth with him, which is really awesome.